What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Crew 2, and in this video I wanted to take another look at the KTM 450 EXC Nighthawk Edition, which is arguably one of the coolest motor pass vehicles we've ever had in this game besides the Proto Lucky 1. I would even say the Nighthawk Edition is probably in the top 5 for one of the best performing motor pass vehicles we have ever seen on the Crew 2. This bike is honestly incredible. Not only does it have great handling, but it's also pretty dang fast compared to the other motocross bikes as well. Plus, we can all admit this thing looks absolutely insane. I do love the headlights on this bike. This thing just looks so unique. Upon first glance, I actually thought this was like some type of KTM Duke, which the body style of it does kind of remind me of that a little bit. But nope, this thing is just basically a customized 450 EXC, which I have to admit Ubisoft did an incredible job on this bike. I mean, I'm honestly mind blown by this thing. Let me know what you guys think about the Nighthawk Edition in the comments below, because I feel like this is one of the better performing motor pass vehicles we have seen ever added into the game for sure. I would like to know, by the way, guys, would you like to see them add some of the old motor pass vehicles back into the game somehow? Maybe like have a different version of them, or maybe some type of other way to add some of the older ones into the game. I know a lot of these vehicles are very unique and a lot of the players did grind to get them, but maybe there could be some type of way for them to add these vehicles back into the game in the future. But at the moment, I really do not see the Motor Pass vehicles ever coming back. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. But now let's go take the KTM 450 EXC Nighthawk Edition into one or two events here, and I'll talk about this bike a little bit more. Now jumping right into the race here with the lovely KTM 450 EXC Nighthawk Edition, I have to admit one thing, by the way. I would say this is probably one of my favorite looking motor pass vehicles in the entire game, if not my favorite looking bike in all of the Crew 2. I just think Ubisoft did such an amazing job with this bike, and not only does it look really good, but my goodness does this bike perform really well. I'm not even gonna lie, I would say this is probably the best motocross bike in the game by a long shot if you guys do have it. Not only does this thing do really good on like tracks and all that, but also like this downhill race here, which I know a lot of players are probably not big fans of the motocross bikes in this game, which I can't really blame you on that, because we can all admit some of these are pretty wonky to use and sometimes kind of frustrating as well with how they handle. For example, that Suzuki race was not all that fun, and I did notice some of those bikes are just not that fun to use, but one of the biggest things I noticed about the KTM is the way this bike can actually handle around corners and really fix itself when struggling. I think we all know some of the motocross bikes are really not that fun to use. I'm looking at you right now, Suzuki. My goodness, that thing was annoying, honestly. But I would say the Nighthawk is going to be way better than most of the other bikes in the game because of the way it actually handles and the stability it has around corners. We all have noticed that some of the motocross bikes do struggle a bit on the turns with like sliding and or losing a tremendous amount of speed around them. I noticed the Nighthawk Edition tends to grip the entire turn insanely good, which really is going to give this bike a big advantage. Unfortunately though, this was a motor pass vehicle, so that does unfortunately mean that nobody can get this bike right now, but hopefully in the future we might see some of the old motor pass vehicles come back. Maybe Ubisoft can do like some type of old motor pass where like all the older vehicles are in there, maybe like 2 or 3 of them, and or like different versions of those said vehicles where we can give players another chance to get them. I think that would be pretty awesome. I have also been noticing that the Nighthawk Edition does show up in leaderboards a good amount, but I personally don't think a lot of players have this bike and or use it all that often. I do highly recommend trying out the Nighthawk Edition if you guys do have this bike. Not only does this thing look awesome, but it's definitely one of the best performing motocross bikes in the game with no doubt in my mind. I'm kind of surprised because I really haven't used this bike in a long time, because as I mentioned before, I do feel kind of bad running motor pass vehicles and summits and all that, because I know not every player has them. And I have a weird feeling that many of the Motor Pass vehicles are probably never going to come back unless, you know, a crazy Motor Pass is added into the game in the future. Or maybe we could see some weird version of the 450 EXC in like a Summit or something like that. But nonetheless, guys, I highly recommend trying this bike out. I personally have not really used any of the other motocross bikes all that much. If I do have to use one, I always jump on the regular 450 EXC. I find that bike to be the best. I really haven't used the Nighthawk Edition in a Summit in a very long time, but after jumping into some events here with the Nighthawk Edition, I can definitely see why I like this bike so much, and I have a feeling it's going to remain one of my favorite motor pass vehicles in the entire game here. But let me know what you guys think about the Nighthawk Edition in the comments below, because this is by far one of the coolest looking motor pass vehicles we have ever seen.